Joining me now in the studio is former Deputy Foreign Minister and Israeli Ambassador to the United States, Danny Ayalon, to dive deeper into Israeli airstrikes in Syria. Danny, thank you so much for joining me again.
My pleasure, Aaron.
All right, so my first question is simple. In the last 2 days, Israel has carried out 2 airstrikes against Assad allied forces. So are these isolated incidents, or are we going to see a lot more of this in the coming future?
Well, so far it seems to be isolated incidents. And by the way, it's not the first time. Maybe now they're coming not so far between, few and far between. And it may increase as the Syrian army is trying to reestablish control over the Syrian Golan, close to the Israeli border. But Israel's policy has always been zero tolerance to any aggression from whatever side. And in this case, every firing on Israel is being responded in kind and in a way, even in a more powerful way, for deterrence purposes and to signal that this is not the way for them to go. If they want to try some dropping or some kind of an attrition war, Israel is not ready for that and will never be ready for that.
So that actually, you brought me into my next question, which is we have Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, who is making some very threatening comments in the last few days, saying, if a war began, fighters from all over, from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all these places would come and join them, from Iran. Are we about to see a war here? And if so, how true are his words? How strongly should we take them?
Well, I doubt it. I think it's coming from a position of weakness. If he has to rely on foreign troops, all kinds of hodgepodge from Pakistan and who knows where, to come for the aid of Hezbollah, I don't think it shows that he is very much confident about his strength. It could happen. I don't think it's Hezbollah's interest. It's certainly not Israel's interest to have any kind of violence in our northern border. But things may escalate. Things may come out without even, because of miscalculations. But here, I think Israel's position here is also very, very firm and very clear. Unlike the Second Lebanon War 11 years ago, 2006, this time we will not keep one arm behind our back, meaning that we will not spare Lebanese infrastructure and we will go all out seeing the Lebanese government as responsible. And now that Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese government, right, we certainly have a
we
case.
Take them all as one.
Yes, so it's going to be devastating for Lebanon. We may suffer too, but our rehabilitating pace is much faster than the Lebanese. So it's not going to be on par. Then this is why I think the Hezbollah is still very much deterred. This is why the Lebanese would not like to see the Hezbollah opening a front with Israel, as it is quite clear that Hezbollah is not fighting for Lebanon. It's fighting for Iran. It's an Iranian arm serving the interest of Iran, like working in Syria, and certainly not serving the interest of the people of Lebanon.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the relationships here and maybe go into how that works out. What is Hezbollah's relationship to the Lebanese government, if they're a part of that government, as opposed to their relationship in Syria and with Iran and with Russia, etc.?
So we should see Lebanon and the Hezbollah for what it is. And for all, not just for practical purposes, it is an organic part of the Iranian war machine. It is the proxy of Iran taking over Lebanon and helping the Iranian interest and forces in Syria to keep Assad, which is also a puppet of Iran. So, if we look at the bigger picture, what Iran is trying to do within its purposes of hegemony in the region is to create a corridor from Iran all the way to the Mediterranean through Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. And for that, they need Hezbollah, they need the Syrian forces. And this is why now we see that the Syrian forces are trying to actually reach the Iraqi border to meet the Shiites, militias from Iraq side, so they can have a free pass. And this is why we see now maybe more intense firing, which are not maybe intent on our side of the border. as the Syrians are fighting the insurgents over there.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in, Dani Ayalon, former ambassador. All right.